going, everybody? Long time no see, you fucks. This is going to be my little Justice League review slash discussion because this movie has been on my mind ever since I saw it about a week and a half ago, or 2 weeks ago. And I saw it with my best friend, Za. And I will say this. Yeah, broke black man. I completely agree. This movie, hands down, just to start off the discussion, is probably the worst superhero movie that I've seen since Batman and Robin or Batman Forever, whichever one it was. It is the biggest pile of shit. The movie starts off in the most unsettling way. You can now find this clip on YouTube where it's a clip of Superman talking, and it's like cell phone footage, like intentionally bad, and it's like a kid going, "Hey, Superman, we're filming shit for our podcast," which right there, that doesn't make any sense. So you're doing a podcast with your cell phone? What, like I'm doing right now? This isn't a podcast. You're filming something. Whatever. So this kid's doing his own in the movie Superman review. He's like, "Hey, Superman, what's so good about being Superman?" And then Superman turns around, and holy fuck, it looks like he has a cleft palate. Or he's got a bad case of blur face. He looks like a bad Snapchat filter that you would put on to look like Superman. You know what I mean? Like when, Negan on The Walking Dead, they had a Snapchat filter and you could do it, and women were doing it and guys were doing it, and it's like, I'm a little kid, but they put a fake beard on you, and in the foreground they put a little bat. That's what it looked like. It looked like a bad Snapchat filter of what they were going for. Sorry, I needed to turn off my car. It was just fucking terrible. It was so bad. The digital no mustache on him didn't do it justice at all. Hey, don't even know if you meant to do that, but you did. Okay. So I'll go, I guess, over some basic bullet points, and then I'll just nitpick the fuck out of it in whatever order I see fit, because I'm doing this completely stream of consciousness, and I don't care to do it any other way. This movie does not deserve time to sit down and put together a beautiful list or a Watch Mojo new rock stars top 20 fuckity fuck of what I thought of this movie. It doesn't deserve that kind of time and effort. It really doesn't. Movies that deserve that kind of time and effort are like Logan, which are great, amazing movies that deserve dissection and analysis and to be acknowledged for how great of movies they are. This is not that. This is such a pile of shit. So, the acting is bad. The dialogue is worse. The villain is, they might as Steppenwolf, really? That's like, hey, let's have Superman in this movie. He's gonna fight Duke Nukem. He's gonna fight a Ninja Turtle. Like, what the fuck are you, like, Superman, that game Street Fighter? We're gonna do that, but with Superman. It really was dumb. They might as well have had Yoshi be the fucking villain. You know what I mean? It's like a video game goddamn character. Nobody cares about Steppenwolf. Nobody knew who Steppenwolf was. You're already pulling into your... sorry, it's really starting to, rain now. The only good part of the film for me was evil Superman back from the dead. That should have been the whole movie. A lot of people have said that in their reviews, is that should have been the movie. But the whole point is, I believe that was supposed to be the Injustice League is supposed to be Superman being evil, alongside with the fact that Lex Luthor and Deathstroke and several other bad guys are supposed to have a team of their own. In addition to that, so this movie's all kinds of fucked. It really is. The CGI, guys, it looks like someone smeared Vaseline on his face his Jesus Christ, it was so bad, and the villain was completely CGI'd. I'm like, you completely made a fictional character and you can't fix this bottom portion of someone's fucking face? Put off. If this is supposed to be the big blockbuster that you think it is, why don't you put off your movie 2 months until they finish Mission Impossible, then have him come back, rebulk up, and then do your reshoots? Why did you just have to, we just have to remove that beard? So what did it look like on set? Did he just have a full fucking beard? You retards? How did you feel? Like, how did you honestly feel, Warner Brothers, making that shit? Did you feel stupid? You should have. You should have felt fucking dumb. Because that is so retarded. Like, I'm so mad about this because it's like, listen, like several reviewers have been saying, this was supposed to be their Avengers, the DC version of the Avengers. And god damn it, did Joss Whedon really make it seem like they were going for that in the reshoots. But I'm telling you, man, this movie won't even probably make its money back. Maybe it will in DVD sales, but come on. This was supposed to be like the biggest fucking blockbuster of all goddamn time. And it is so underwhelming. I think the movie 50-50 with Joseph Gordon-Levitt did better than this in its opening weekend. I mean, this is so bad. I think Don John. I don't know why I'm just using Joseph Gordon-Levitt things for some reason. He's coming to mind for some reason. But this, like, the feel of this movie is just all over the fucking place. They don't know if they're making a Superman movie or a Batman movie or, a CGI, fright fest of a movie. It's just, it's so bad. Another bad part of the movie, Ezra Miller. Listen, I haven't seen Perks of Being a Wallflower in a long time, okay? But that dude was so bad as the Flash. I'm sorry. Dude, Ezra Miller, if I ever have any kind of success and you find this, I apologize. But I just want you to know that I believe in you. I believe you're better than this. But I think this movie was a terrible decision on your part, the marketing people's part, and that you should feel bad for being in it. Okay? I also believe that this movie has proven that you probably can't really carry a film yet. You have some growing pains you need to get through. This is part of those growing pains. Like, this is the movie equivalent of fucking shin splints. Alright, this is painful to watch, man. Yeah, they should have had the TV show version of the fucking Flash. 100%. You've spent years developing a TV show character of a really popular TV show for at least its first and second season. And now you got just basically, to most people in the DC world, they don't know who the fuck Ezra Miller is. Only hipsters know who Ezra Miller is. That's like if you got the other guy from like The Fault in Our Stars to be the Flash. It's like you don't understand your crossover appeal. Whatever. We'll get into the marketing shit of this movie, but the music in this movie was awful. The Aquaman was one of the most underwritten, poorly written, poorly edited stuff ever. Jason Momoa, you are a handsome motherfucker, but you need to just stick to grunting in Game of Thrones. The Bisel Azul, like shit like that. You should not be Aquaman. As far as carrying a movie and being interesting, his best scene is he accidentally sits on a rope. Aquaman, his best scene, a guy who has a trident and is the heir to Atlantis, his best scene is he's sitting on a fucking rope, on a lasso of truth. That is his best scene. you know, Batman, by the way, Ben Affleck, god damn it, could you try to at least look that you like you want to be there for half a second? He looks like he had checked out right after, what is he? Look, what did you say? Aquaman was just there. They should have used the Green Lantern. They were supposed to have the Green Lantern. They were supposed to have 2 Green Lanterns come to Bruce in the middle of the night saying, you need to assemble the Justice League, pretty much, or something like that. That was in like one of the original cuts of the movie that some people saw. And they cut that shit out. Now, obviously it wasn't completely, finished rendering, but it wasn't a completely finished render. But it was in there. And they took that shit out. They took that out, but left in this terrible cell phone footage at the very opening. This awful CGI. I mean, if you were going to have this bad a CGI, you should have just, you should have, one, not shown Superman at all. Shown the back of his head or something like that. But holy balls, that was so bad. And here's the thing. I love Ben Affleck. I love Gal Gadot. I love, that is how you say her name, by the way. It's not Gal Gadot, like we all wanted it to be, because it sounds sexier. It's Gal Gadot. That's what she even says. Thanks, Israel. She is so fucking gorgeous, isn't she? Ben Affleck, Gal Gadot, J.K. Simmons, holy fuck. Do any of you remember, like a year and a half ago, they posted a picture of J.K. Simmons, and he was training for the Justice League, and he had these ripped fucking arms, he just looked yoked, and this is like before the Oscar and everything, and now you got this Oscar winner in your movie for, I'm not even kidding, folks, less than 2.5 minutes. He trained for who knows how long to get in really great shape. Thought we were going to get that buff badass of the Dark Knight Returns Detective Gordon where he looks like he could just like rip someone's fucking face off. And he was in it for 2.5 minutes of the movie. And he didn't even do like a cool voice or make him interesting. He goes, here's the potential perp. Here's a list of the potential perp. And then he goes, how many of you are there? And that's supposed to be a ha ha ho, like a laugh riot apparently, because everybody just needs to have comedy in a movie where the world is supposed to be fucking ending. I don't need comedy in the Justice League. Either make it humorous the whole time and have this kind of Avengers type thing where everybody's all quirky and full of quips and all that shit. Or be dark and brooding. Pick a fucking thing. That's the problem with the Zack Snyder, Joss Whedon approach, is that it's oil, like they said, it's oil and water. It doesn't flow, it doesn't mix, the editing's all fucking different and weird. It looks like they shot it with different cameras and had different editors working on the different scenes. None of it is cohesive. This movie is schizophrenic in how it is told. What did you say? It was supposed to be dark, but Zack Snyder had to leave because his daughter committed suicide. That's true. And that's fucking terrible. But I can't watch every single movie and go, you know what? Because of this real life tragedy, this movie is allowed to be awful. You know what I mean? Like, that's not how you approach most movies. It's like if we were doing that, then every Tom Cruise movie should be terrible because he's a fucking lunatic in real life. Like, I didn't even like it when Kevin Spacey got removed from this movie, all the money in the world, to prove fucking what? Yeah, we're gonna make it by December 25th, just like we fucking said. It's like, I'm not condoning anything that the guy fucking did. Absolutely fucking not. But Jesus Christ, quit fucking up our movies. Can you just deal with it yourself? And let us at least enjoy the movie? I'm sorry. I'm not going to watch all Kevin Spacey movies from now on, people, and be like, you know what, I don't like him. I don't like him anymore. Now I know. K-Pax fucking sucks now. American Beauty, more like American Pervert. More like American Pervert. You know, like, you know, just like Louis C.K. stand-up, am I just supposed to not think any of it's funny anymore? Am I not allowed to enjoy anything anymore? Just because, you know, these people made their terrible fucking choices? It doesn't make you a bad person for liking their comedy or their movies. Because their movies, they're pretending to be people other than themselves. Now, if Kevin Spacey was like raping dudes in the fucking movie, then you can hate the movie. Because then you're like, that's what he's doing in real life. You know, I go to a movie to be entertained, not to be, you know, grossed out. Let me see what BBM say. People still listen to Michael Jackson music. Just wait till he passes away. Not wishing death on the man. Let me reel it back in. I'm going on a tangent here. I could go off on that shit all day. That shit's been bothering me. But, because it's too much. It's way too much. You know, every day. They took Charlie Rose off the fucking news. Charlie Rose. Come on. You know, what are you fucking proving? We could take down this 80-year-old at the end of his career. You know, like... So, Justice League. Steppenwolf is a terrible villain. Completely CGI'd, it lacks all emotion, it lacks all heart. The mother boxes, or the 3 MacGuffins, or the Tesseracts. It could have been fucking anything. They could have picked fucking anything. Because it's just boring. It's stupid. This thing's gonna terraform the Earth. This thing's gonna terraform it into a version of his planet. He's gonna end our world to create his world on. That doesn't make any fucking sense. If he's going to destroy Earth to make it his home world, why wouldn't he just go to Mars? Because space doesn't affect him and gravity doesn't affect him the same way. He can breathe in whatever air and oxygen, unlike us. Why doesn't he just terraform some other fucking planet? Why does that have to be the fucking premise? Why does that have to be the premise of every goddamn movie now? Is they want to make it their planet. Why? If they're going to kill us all and not use any of our food or any of our resources, why? The only appeal to Earth, other than other planets, is there's life on it. And you want to kill all of it. For what purpose? Go to any other planet. You have a teleportation device, you have a spaceship, you know, it's fucking dumb. It's fucking dumb. It's dumb. You know, fuck. What else in this movie? Wonder Woman was a completely underwritten character. It sucks that Solo film came out before this because it's like a step down for her after she got so much goodwill and so much praise for her portrayal as her, as Diana Prince. You know, Gal Gadot in that movie, when directed by that female director, she did an amazing job of playing the fish out of water role. And the CGI in that movie, although it wasn't the best I'd ever seen, superior to this fucking movie. Superior. Like, it's not even the same playing field. It's like literally student filmmakers versus professional filmmakers. It is night and day. Henry Cavill's performance as Superman has gotten worse in every single movie, in every single iteration. In Man of Steel, he had a little bit of heart, and I actually kind of like Man of Steel, despite a lot of people's hindsight, going back and shitting on stuff. At the time, I liked it, and there were parts I didn't like, of course, and things that didn't make sense, like why did, Lois Lane have to be asked onto the spaceship just so that she could meet Superman's spirit father, Jor-El, and not meet him for real because he's not real, but he lives in the spaceship, and why does he live in that space, you know, all that shit. But that's in hindsight. At the time, I'm not thinking about that. I'm just watching the spectacle that is this movie. And guess what? That was like the first really, like, in the DC verse, here's a big blue beam going up to the sky and we gotta stop it. It's terraforming the Earth. Because Zod wanted to get revenge on Kal-El, on Superman. So that makes sense to a certain degree. And what bothers me is that you go from that, then you get Batman v Superman, and nothing fucking happens. There's no consequences for Superman. There's nothing interesting that really happens to him. He's not really that conflicted. The plot line is just thin. It doesn't make any sense. It's very haphazardly thrown together. The editing is like slow as fuck, like a Law and Order episode in the beginning, and then it's just like a clusterfuck rushing it all in at the end. All these characters seem really shoehorned in and underdeveloped and underwhelming. Like Wonder Woman and BVS, and in this movie, the Justice League, is just terrible, but her solo film, great. Superman in these combined films, terrible, and his solo film, way better. And I think we were all hoping that Ben Affleck, when he got his own solo film, The Batman, it was going to be great. But in these combined films, he's very underwhelming. I thought he was great in Batman v Superman for what we saw of him, as far as the action stuff that he did, and some of the detective work that he did. And his voice was cool, and the bat suit, but also just in real life was pretty intimidating. And he was big, and he was bulky, and still had a lot of like toughness to him. But in this movie, he doesn't keep up his accent. This is nitpicking, but this is accurate. For people like me, it had to have bothered you too, where he sounds different in every single scene. In some scenes, he sounds like he's talking to Alfred, like that. And then other scenes, he's just kind of talking like, what about Diana? He goes, I don't have to get this world. I just got to save it. It's like he's doing a Steven Seagal impression in some of the scenes. And like it literally sounds like he's trying to do a bat voice, but he looks like Bruce Wayne. He's showing up as Bruce Wayne, but he's doing the bat voice. But that's not how he talked in Batman v Superman. He goes, why wasn't I told about this? And then this movie's like, why wasn't I told about that? You're like, what, did you just take Christian Bale's advice in this movie and skipped over it for the last 2 years? Like, what the fuck are you doing? Henry Cavill, that's another reason I was going to bring him up before, was his British accent slips through like 3 or 4 times in this movie. He goes, tell me something. Do you bleed? It's like, it's not how Superman fucking talks. He was just American a second ago. We were going to have a trail of Superman, but people die in the room before anything happens yet. Oh, a trial. Sorry, I misread it. Went all dyslexic on your response. Yeah, nothing happened with that. Everybody was raving about that redheaded actress, the famous one. I can't remember her name off the top of my head. But I do know it. It's in there somewhere, but fuck it, who cares? The peach tea and the scenes with Lex Luthor, and she's like, this is a quest for truth. It was like a woman doing a George Bush impression and then was made a senator in this movie, and then she gets blown up after looking at a cup of piss. That's the premise, guys. Hey, I'm Lex Luthor, and I pissed in this jar, and you're dead. Like, it's fucking stupid. Like, that's like a cartoon written by a 5-year-old. Hello, Ryby. It's really bad, guys. It's such a bad movie. And by the way, who I thought had the best part of this movie, surprisingly, was fucking Cyborg. When he's up in the apartment, he's kind of brooding around, and he's got like a cool voice and everything. Thought that was good. Everything action-wise with him sucked. His CGI looked like fucking laughable. Guys, Iron Man is a completely fictional, CGI'd fucking character, and You couldn't even just keep this part of his face okay and just make an Iron Man suit. Have you seen the behind the scenes of the Iron Man movies? Tony Stark has the top shoulder piece that goes right here that shows his head. The rest, the mechanics and stuff, and the rest of his body, all CGI'd and done with motion capture. So what's your fucking excuse? They've done that not just in one movie, not just in 2 movies, not just in 3 movies, not just in 4 movies. They've done it in at least 5 or 6 movies with Iron Man, and you can't even get it right this once. It's not even that much money, guys. I've seen, I have friends who do special effects across the country, and some of them do this insane shit where they can make a completely computer-generated Spider-Man robot or whatever, and it looks completely believable. It looks like something that could be in a movie right now, and they are just one-man wrecking crews, and it's amazing to watch. And they could have done a superior version of Cyclops in this. I really got to touch again on how bad the Flash is. Like, I hated every part of his character. I thought he was underutilized. The squiddly diddly version of his running. Does Ezra Miller not know how to run? Is he just like paralyzed in a wheelchair and they just motion captured his face and put it on a body of somebody else? It doesn't make any sense. Hello, Honest Red. Did that not bother other people? The Flash doing this? It looked like he was swimming. He even tripped a couple times. Yeah, the Flash, everybody. The guy who runs for a living tripped. You know, just, and at crucial moments. You know how that happens. You know, what great comedy. He tripped because Superman, like, looked at him funny. Superman kind of looked over his shoulder at him and was like, and then he just tripped. By the way, them showing that Superman could look at, like, lightning speed like that kind of undercuts the Flash a little bit. I mean, he's an awkward kid. I don't know how long he's been the Flash. It looked like he won a contest and was allowed to be in this movie. That's what it looked like. He didn't look like an actor. He looked like a kid who was like, whoa, I'm on the Justice League set. Whoa, does anybody else see this? Is this really happening right now? And, like, it was so bad. By the way, you reminded me, since you all are here, please give this video a thumbs up. I do really appreciate it, and it helps this video get noticed by more people, and maybe I make 8 whole cents on this video. Thank you. I'm just saying, Flash was not an athlete before he got his powers. Oh, I get what you're saying. Here's the thing, though. They don't establish any of that. And you know what? I don't believe you need to establish the origin story after the team-up movie. It's one thing to do the origin story after you did, like, they did a few Wolverine, you know, a couple of Wolverine movies after they did the X-Men. It's a little bit different, though, because the X-Men isn't really a team-up movie. It's just sort of they happen to have a team of people because it's a school of children all going to the same school, and then this loud train. The kids sort of unite, but it's not like they get assembled, you know what I mean? Like, I don't feel like X-Men really did that. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm just, like, talking out of my ass right now, but they just did a better job of it. Maybe that's it. Maybe they just did a way better job of grouping them together like that. Yeah, he has to be practicing or something. So you're telling me you would allow the thing that brings Superman back to life is the Flash touching the water of the liquid inside the ship, which hasn't been drained out. The thing that they built Doomsday in hasn't been drained out. Couldn't just bring a vacuum in there and just suck that shit out of there. No more life's blood. Get out of here. We saw what happened the last time. And the Flash has to touch it at the exact moment that the MacGuffin hits the water to make enough power and electricity to jolt his body back to life. But you picked a guy who, when he runs and he gets nervous, he trips. And you're relying on him? Why him? Why not Cyborg? Couldn't Cyborg generate enough electricity to do it at the exact moment? Isn't he a fucking machine running on electricity? You're telling me he can shoot monitor screens out of his fucking hands, but he can't generate enough spark to go? I mean, that's all he does. It's like, man, we can't use electric, man. That would only work too well. Oh, maybe Cyborg was working on the motherboard. But here's the thing. Cyborg has, like, tentacle shit that comes out. He even does it in the movie. Only once, which doesn't make any sense. But, you know what I mean? It's... This movie is such a clusterfuck. I really don't like it. No, they needed the Flash to fucking do something, because even they realize, wait, why do we have all these heroes if only 2 of them are doing all the work? You know, like, Wonder Woman could generate fucking sparks. She does it all the time with the fucking gauntlets. It's like what she does, too. In Wonder Woman, the solo movie, it goes, and she, like, flies up and has, like, the Thor kind of lightning moment. And it's like, just have her do it. Was horribly, yeah, I will say this, the only good thing, thank you, appreciate you, the only good thing about the Justice League being so shitty is that it's going to prevent future movies from getting away with it. That's the only really solid thing, and that is good. That is good. We need people to realize there are ramifications for making shit movies, okay? Absolute shit. Because, listen, I'm an actor myself. I'm an aspiring actor and filmmaker, and movies like the Justice League really upset me. Because I look at this and I go, there are so many good fucking actors out there, and so many good special effects people, and just because you couldn't pick, other than the 2 main dudes, somebody else to give the reins to, you fucked up. Look at what Thor Ragnarok did. The guy had done like 2 or 3 movies, and they give him Thor Ragnarok, and it makes a whole buttload of money. Like, just hand over fist. Can't make more money. And it hasn't even gotten to DVD sales and Netflix and all this shit when they play it on TV. That movie is going to make billions of dollars. And new toys and all that shit. You know, come on. We didn't even need it to be established, to be honest. It's Superman, he'll always come back. And Honest Red says, dude, tell me about it. I went to film school with people that worked on Batman v Superman. See, that's depressing, man. You should feel really excited for them. And it is exciting. I mean, I won't say that it's not exciting. If I was on Batman v Superman, I'd be telling people all day and night about it. I mean, like, every day. They'd be like, shut up. That's all he fucking talks about is the time he worked on Batman v Superman. But for everybody else, like the above the line and everything, it's like you should be fucking ashamed. You should be ashamed. You really need to realize that I complain about this with TV shows, but it's different with movies. I complain that TV shows take too much of what the audience wants into account, but movies, you need to take what the audience says into account. Quit, because you can stop making movies and revamp ideas easier than a TV show. Because once a TV show does something, it's canon for that TV show. You can't kill a character off in the next episode, bring him back. But in movies, you can do that all the time. You can bring Superman back. You can have new actors play Batman all the time. You know, you can fix this. You need to fix this. This is a problem. And it's so goddamn frustrating because I've given DC so many chances and I love the characters. I love, thanks for having me. I love Superman. I love Batman to death. Flash, I don't care as much about. But and Wonder Woman, it's whatever, but my best friend Alec, he loves Wonder Woman to death. And I'll say this, they did make her kind of cool. They, you know, gave her some kind of neat, you know, powers, and they brought it to screen in her solo movie pretty good, pretty well. And the Amazon shit, like, I'm telling you, those women were so fucking gorgeous and sexy, being all strong like that. It just made me want to meet a dominatrix and fall in love, you know what I mean? Just one who could just kick my ass, you know? So that was good. The standalone films might be the only chance of saving the DCEU, but I don't even want to give them that benefit of the doubt, man. I don't want them to keep fucking stuff up. I don't want them to keep making abysmal, subpar crap. Because what's the point in that? You know, people kept saying, like, man, nothing's going to live up to, like, you know, Heath Ledger's Joker. And it's like, well, you're fucking proving that, right? You know, the only way that you can show that you can live up to that standard is if you live up to that fucking standard. It should go to prove to you that if you do these right, your actors in your superhero movie could win an Oscar. And he earned it, man. It's not because he died that he got a fucking Oscar. You know, people in Hollywood, you should notice lately that they don't take much pity on people. They really don't. So he didn't earn it because he died. If anything, that's more of a reason to give it to someone who's living. Okay? But he earned it. And it was an amazing portrayal. Probably the best portrayal of any villain in the superhero verse. But even out of all the heroes and villains, it was just far superior. Far superior. Jerome character who does Joker on Gotham has done pretty well. Maybe better than Heath Ledger. I've seen clips of him. He's not better than Heath Ledger. But I will say this. They've done interesting shit with him that they didn't do with Heath Ledger. I'll agree with that. And I think that kid is solid. But I think he's a little telling. You can tell his acting you can tell when he's acting. He doesn't seem as natural to me. But maybe that's just because I have a bias already to what I think good acting is. But he's also really young. So in a couple of years, if they keep having him do it, then maybe he'll be fucking amazing. But, you know, there's just too many portrayals of the Joker that are already great. Jack Nicholson, you know, Mark Hamill in an animated series for the last, like, 20 fucking years. You know, Heath Ledger, it's, I don't know. But Suicide Squad, you know, Batman v Superman, you know, Man of Steel, Justice League, hopefully not in Justice League or Justice League 2. All of these are just substandard, man. Like I said, they should be kind of ashamed. Hold on, sorry. I'm trying to plug my phone in and it's going to make me have to move it, so I apologize if it's a little shaky here. Here, I might just have to hold it. I apologize, guys. I'm sorry if it is making a lot of noise. By the way, if you're watching, please give this video a thumbs up. It really does help. It makes more people be able to see it. And I'd love for people to be able to see some of my rants and takes. I've watched a lot of other people rant on this, and you know what inspired me to rant? And I usually try not to rant about big movies like this, because I would kill to be in a big movie like this. I really would. Because I would love to prove that I could do it. Like, hello, Gage. We've got some new people in here. I've never seen you guys. Thank you for joining this live stream, this review of the Justice League, this spoiler review. I was talking to my friends already about ways to make the movie better and more interesting. For example, I talked about, with my best friend Alec, that Jesse Eisenberg should have been portraying the Riddler. And Bryan Cranston could have been Lex Luthor, but we never see Bryan Cranston. We just hear his voice, and we see the side profile of kind of that Heisenberg bald head. And so all the notes in Batman v Superman and everything make way more sense. You let your family die, and this like kind of conspiracy thing, and sending him magazine cutouts and everything. It's very Riddler-esque. And have him work for LexCorp, leading into the next movie. So when he takes down the Riddler, you're taking down the second man, the second boss, you know what I mean? Not the main big boss. And that's when we get introduced to Lex Luthor, who you see sprinkled throughout the Batman v Superman stuff, all these little hints at it. My friend Alec and I were also talking about, had they incorporated Bane into this stuff, or into like Batman v Superman. Let's talk about that for a brief minute. Batman v Superman, not so lightly, is referencing the Dark Knight Returns, in which Batman fights Superman, and he uses like the powder and like a concentration powder of kryptonite to weaken Superman, to kick his ass, and then, you know, grabs him by the scruff of the neck and pretty much goes like, I want you to remember that I was the one guy who beat you, you know, like, and pretty much kind of nearly kills himself trying to show Superman that he's not better than us. Now, one way you could have done it is in The Dark Knight Rises. Bane releases all these prisoners, and those become the prisoner mutants from The Dark Knight Returns that Batman ends up trying to fight. So Bane is still kind of around in this world, or at least things of what he did are around in this world. And also, if you showed Bane fighting Ben Affleck in this, like the Tom Hardy Bane, or someone like, instead of Joe Manganiello playing Deathstroke, you have him play Bane, shave his head, you know, have him, or the guy from Thor Ragnarok who had the machine guns or whatever, have him be fucking Bane. Big guy, bald head, you know, cool voice coming through the voice box or whatever. And what I was saying is, on his belt, you have all these little vials, and those are the steroids that Bane uses, and instead of having the tubes that go into his arms and all that stuff to like puff him up like in a cartoon, you have him shoot EpiPens into his chest. And here's the big thing. In the battle with Batman, Bane, in a kind of a killing stroke motion, sort of goes to what it looks like inject himself, but instead of injecting himself, he comes down like this, and he injects Bruce Wayne, or Batman, with his steroid serum. You know what I mean? Like, shoots him in the arm with it. And what that does is, for a second, Batman gets like all roided out and like lifts Bane above his fucking head. And right as he has him above his head, you have that insert shot, and you see his heart beating, just like it was in The Dark Knight Returns when he fought Superman. And even Batman, maybe Superman is watching this, like witnessing this, trying to stay out of it, because Batman's like, this guy's mine. And Superman just goes, you know, Bruce, you know, your heart. And all of a sudden you see him go, and then he drops Bane, because the steroid stuff like made his heart basically have palpitations and nearly had a heart attack. And that's when Bane picks up Bruce and breaks his back. All right? And so, yeah, I know you'd have to change some stuff up up from The Dark Knight Rises or in the canon or whatever, but you could do it. And there's just ways of tweaking things to make it more believable or just better in general. And I'm not saying that mine would have been great. Maybe it would have fucking sucked just like this movie did, but it would be hard to suck worse than this movie was. And yeah, they're always breaking the dude's back. That's true. It's always, Batman gets his back hurt a lot. Batman's just an old man. He's just getting his back hurt. Let me see real fast. Sorry, folks. 24%. Okay. I'm going to put this back up there if I have that much. Of course I'm here. Jon Snow. Winter's coming. Winter's here. That's what they should do. They should have Jon Snow in the Justice League verse, the DCEU. What did you guys, if there was something that you guys could change? Ooh, that's nice. Rick Grimes as Batman. Where all the drugs going? Listen, you better tell me where those drugs are going. Why did you say that name? You're out there, you're killing Martha. You're letting him kill Martha. I swear to you, no Marthas are gonna die tonight. No Marthas are gonna die. I'm not gonna let that happen. I'm not. That's a good idea, Ryby. That's a solid idea. Next Walking David video, Rick Grimes as Batman. Oh, thank you, sweetheart. Let me know in this live stream or just after it's over, in the comment section, what you would have done to make this movie better. And now, I mean, like, add some things that are a little bit of a change-up. Don't say what everybody else is saying. If you have an idea that you really think you would just love to see them do in the DCEU, or how you would restart it if you were to restart it and reboot the entire franchise, what would you do different? Who would you cast? What stories would you want to tell that maybe haven't been told and they haven't bothered? Would you want to do more origin stuff? More backstory stuff? Would you want to just jump right in where there is no backstory and we just act as if there is this whole world that we just need to catch up on? And it's like full immersion technique where you kind of like sink or swim. That would, just let me know, because I love that stuff. I love hearing other people's ideas for how they would have done a big budget movie like this, and it's fun to speculate on. It really is. So let's see here. We know the origin story of Batman and Superman, so just stop that immediately. No, I'm not even talking about that. I mean, like, with the Wonder Woman stuff, with the Flash, with Cyborg, I agree, a lot of origin stories do not need to be told, and people need to realize what origin stories are well known and what origin stories are not. Everybody knows Superman, everybody knows Batman, everybody knows Wolverine, everybody knows Spider-Man. You don't need to tell those. Now, some of them you can improve on. Green Lantern. Why not have an awesome Green Lantern movie? I know Ryan Reynolds, made the mistake of doing that, but then you see him do a good job in Deadpool, so clearly he has the capability. It's just the direction or the writing or something just sucks, because, you can only control so much of what you're aware of. You know what I mean? Making BVS a main universe film was a mistake. I agree. I believe that the way to fix it is probably do a Logan thing, where you do multiple universes, multiple timelines, kind of like Back to the Future, like the alternative 1985 that's all dark and bleak, and then you have the real 1985, and then you have the possible 1985. I think it was done too early. I think all this shit was rushed. I think you should have done all the solo films first and did a Marvel thing, because they had Iron Man 1 and 2, Thor, 1, a Captain America 1, and then they did the Avengers. and then you had Iron Man 3, and then you had Thor, 2, then you had The Winter Soldier, and then you had Avengers Age of Ultron. So they did it better. They earned a lot of their goodwill, and they earned a lot of those box office numbers because they played the game. You know what I mean? They played the system the way it's supposed to be played. DC saw the money signs and wanted to skip all the hard work and goes, let's shoehorn in everything into one big clusterfuck of a movie. And it doesn't matter that, the Avengers and Marvel and even the Guardians of the Galaxy have all been leading to this Infinity War shit for the last, 10 years. We're just going to do that now. We're going to do what they did in a fifth of the time with lower quality actors who want to be there at first but now don't want to be there anymore because they didn't get their creative vision listened to. And even though we have a guy who's playing Batman, who is a 2-time Oscar winner for writing and directing, and has done movies like The Town, and, Live by Night, and just Gone Girl, and all that stuff. Nope, we can't have him give a solid performance. There's no fucking way. There's just no way, folks. They just did everything wrong. They went about this movie all wrong. Is there a part of the movie, by the way, you guys who are watching right now, that you'd like to hear me talk about that I haven't mentioned? Because I'm sure there's stuff I forgot. I know I've forgotten something. I've been ranting about this to so many people over the last few days. I don't know what I've talked about and what I haven't. You know what I mean? Let me see here really fast. What did BBM say? It would be crazy if Batman had a kid in this universe and dies in the alien invasion and gave Batman a reason to don the suit again. I don't mind the kid story. The alien invasion. Hold on. Did you talk about that random Russian? Oh, thank you. Fuck yes. God damn it. Honest Red, thank you very much for saying that. Because what in the fuck were they there for? What in the fucking was the point of that? The Russian family had more screen time than J.K. fucking Simmons, the Oscar winner from fucking Whiplash. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I mean, you've got to be fucking shitting me. They had more screen time than the fucking Flash did. Hell, I think that little girl had more of a character arc than the fucking Flash did. The Flash is in this movie because I need friends. And also, that was the gayest portrayal of Flash I've ever seen. He just seems like a nervous gay kid the entire movie. I've never done battle. I've just, saved people and then, ran away. I, saved people, I just ran. Batman's like, save one person, then you'll know. Save him. But saving is I don't even know how to do that. It's really just oh. There were a house on top of a motherboard would make sense, but no. I honestly wouldn't have used Superman in this movie. If it wasn't about the start of the Justice League, I would have brought in Manhunter or Swamp Thing. The actor is gay, though? Well, straighten up a little bit, Flash. Is the Flash gay in the TV series and in the comic books? And in the animated series? I don't think so. It's that kid from the TV show is great. I'm sorry, Ezra Miller, I saw him recently in the Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. And he literally played a kid with autism or something in it. And he had a weird bowl haircut, and it's he was still suffering from that in this movie, where he had a weird fucking haircut, and he just looked kind of derpish. And you're come on, dude. Who's fucking the makeup person here? The Flash should have, spiky hair, and, a lightning bolt carved into the side of his head or something. Something that seems, Flash-like. Something that seems cartoonish, but not in that ridiculous of a way. Having a lightning bolt there, A weird hipster douchebag like that fucking kid would do that. Wouldn't you do that? If you were like Thor or something, you'd get like a lightning bolt carved in the side of your fucking head. Hey, Stacy, can you do another lightning bolt? Yeah. Gotta go take care of, Asgard and Loki and stuff like that. But, do a hammer. You'll get a tattoo. You know what I mean? It says like a lightning bolt right there. Or it says like, I'm fucking fast, bitch. You know what I mean? Like, that would be hilarious. What if the Flash had a tattoo that says, I'm the fastest man alive, bitch, and like went around his wrist? And what the fuck is going on here, folks? Jehovah's Dragon. I was doing or sort of discussing the Justice League and how I think it is a big pile of donkey shit. And it's going okay. I think I'm making some valid points. Did you like it? Did you see it? Jehovah's Dragon? I'm waiting. Stop talking shit, bro. That's a cool movie. Give me your reasoning. If you're being serious. You might not be. You might just be yanking on my dankin'. I started a Justice League. Hey, you know my mom was killed by the Justice League. Quit joking about that shit. My mom was the Flash. And my dad was also the Flash. The parademons looked like Blue Beetle to me. No, she wasn't. I know your mom. How do you know my mom? Sorry. I just want to sit and calm down for a second. You're my long-lost sister? Oh my god. Ryby, of course. That's an acronym for David. Fuck. Man, this dude looks like the midget Big Show. What? I don't know. I keep trying to think of what else. Honest Red. Oh yeah, we were talking about the Russian family. Those fucking silly ass Russians. Why in the fuck? DC? There had to have been at least 12 minutes of screen time devoted to the Russian family. Which the little girl had a can of hairspray or bug spray, and the little boy had like a spoon. The dad had a shotgun, and the wife had a broom, and they lived out in the middle of, I don't know, the fucking apocalypse, surrounded by red sky. You know how the sky gets red when there's parademons, right? Sure, we all know that. God, this movie, like, I don't even know, like, nothing was explained very well. They go, these mother boxes, we got to get them. And they go, why? Because if he gets them, bad shit gonna go down. What kind of bad shit's gonna go down? I don't know, but I have a feeling. Why do you have a feeling? Because I was made out of one of them mother boxes, bitch. And instead of that being something that comes up later, they go like, oh my god, you're made of one of those mother boxes. What happens if something bad happens to you? And he just goes, I don't know. And then they never fucking address it again. That was it. Thanks for addressing those grievances. I don't know what happens if something happens to me. I'm fucking Cyborg. I can't deal. I used to be a football player, and now I can't deal. People don't know I'm alive. It doesn't really fucking matter. My whole life's ruined. Let me see. What does it say? Hunk of potato. I've never seen this weirdo around. And YouTube Live is my life. Now, Wonder Woman... oh, yeah, that's another thing. Thank you for saying that. This movie, every single thought in a character's head, instead of being shown, you know, showing and not telling, as you're supposed to do in movies, every single character said, this is exactly what's on my mind at this moment. Now, you think that that's good, but that's not subtle. The whole point is it's supposed to be subtle. Oh, Batman subtly hints to loving his mother through this action that he takes. He scoffs when someone says he killed his mom, and he goes, oh. Because he's thinking about his dead mom. You know, little shit like that, that's fine. That's good. That's subtle. That's called art. That's called subtle filmmaking. Where you have to be paying attention, and if you blink, you'll miss it, but it's there, and you didn't notice it, but your brain did. And, like, Wonder Woman literally says this in the middle of fighting Superman when he comes back to life. She goes, hold on, he doesn't know who he is, stop. Stand down, he doesn't know who he is. Okay? He's confused. I know this because, well, we're not related, but I just know, you know, like, she's just shouting at people, and she's like, no. And then there's like a moment, like a forced, that whole fight is started by a forced thing where Cyclops goes, my defense system, I can't control it, even though I had control over it the rest of the fucking movie, but now I don't. What the fuck? He's like Dr. Strangelove. He's over there going, you know, yeah, digging up the grave with no powers. One of you is a machine that can turn into a shovel, and the other one is the fastest man alive. What a stupid fucking movie. They're grave robbing for Superman. Now, if they were digging the grave, and they hit it, and they open it, and nothing's in there, that would have at least been something. It's, oh my God. Been doing this for over an hour. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and kind of wrap this up. Yeah, my problem is I do have standards, as do all of you. You all have standard, which is fine. It means you're competent people. Sure, let's collaborate. What would you like to do? If the grave was empty, wouldn't that be freaky? And then that scene with Jeremy Irons where he goes, they said you'd come back. I just hope it's not too late. From the trailer, you know, the shit that they cut. That stuff would make more sense. They were looking for you, but there was nothing in your grave. Jesus is the clone of the baby killer Jehovah. That doesn't sound that appealing, but let's go for it. Could it be a fiction? Could it be a mockumentary? Because then it would be hilarious. But anyways, this movie, I would honestly give this movie a D. Maybe a D+. But that's the highest I would give it. It really upset me. It let me down. I think it let comic book people down. I think it was Fanfare the movie. And it should make its money back, and I honestly hope they don't keep making more crap like this. I hope they learn their lesson and they realize that people are not brainless fucking idiots, and, you know, just because it's a comic book movie doesn't mean that you can just cop out and not fucking try, and you're not just going to get guaranteed money just because you think you earned it. You know what I mean? So, anyways, that's my opinion. Like I was saying, if you like this review and rant and all that crazy shit, please give this video a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned. I might be posting more content soon. I'm not really sure. I'm kind of busy working right now. on film stuff, and also just trying to save up money for my move back to Los Angeles. But I'm David Grayson. This is The Walking David, and that's my review of the Justice League. So, you all have a good one, okay? Bye-bye!